This is News 25 with Deanna O'Donnell and Unette Gentry. News 25, local news you can count on. News is brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law. Call 727-9900 today for your free consultation. If you need a lawyer, you need Nelson. This segment of the news is brought to you by Silver State Health, bringing quality medical and psychiatric care to Pahrump. Call 775-505-1214 for an appointment.
Welcome to News 25. Hope you're having a great Thursday. I'm Deanna O'Donnell.
And I'm Unette Gentry. Thanks for joining us this Thursday, October 8th.
Well, a week after a raucous presidential debate, last night's vice presidential debate between Mike Pence and Kamala Harris seemed a bit more traditional. But one thing was clear, the sharp contrast between the two parties' agendas.
Vice President Mike Pence and Democratic vice presidential nominee Senator Kamala Harris met face-to-face Wednesday evening at the University of Utah in Salt Lake City for the only scheduled debate between the candidates. The coronavirus pandemic took center stage with large plexiglass shields placed between the candidates. In addition, spectators were warned not to remove their masks. The pandemic was also the first topic. Harris accused the Trump administration of mishandling the coronavirus, saying the president covered up information and didn't have a plan to combat the disease. Pence defended the president's record, pointing to Trump's decision to restrict travel from China in January. Unlike the presidential debate, there were far fewer interruptions and fewer personal attacks. Moderator Susan Page regularly reminded the candidates that answers should be uninterrupted. Pence and Harris didn't always comply, but the debate was far more civil than the Trump-Biden debate. Both candidates frequently failed to directly answer questions, instead going off on a tangent on a completely different topic. Both ignored the question, what would you do if the president became incapacitated? And both Pence and Harris sidestepped a question about what they thought states should do if the Supreme Court struck down Roe v. Wade, a move that would leave states to write their own abortion laws. In general, Pence attacked Biden-Harris as extreme, while Harris continued to attack Trump's record on his handling of the coronavirus. While the VP debate isn't likely to sway voters' minds, it did highlight differences between the two parties. As for the second scheduled presidential debate, well, that one's still in limbo. The commission that runs the debates announced that debate, originally scheduled for October 15th in Miami, would now be virtual. Thursday morning, Trump said he's not going to do a virtual debate, calling the format a waste of time.
Turning now to local news, final proposals for the construction of a new animal shelter in Nye County were reviewed at the Board of County Commissioners meeting on October 6th. Danielle McKee, contracts administrator, explained that the bid is for design and construction of the building, and she went on to detail how the final bids were scored and rated. Missy Kohler has more.
Project finalists included top-ranked builders, B&H Construction, Facility Builders and Erectors, and NDL Group. McKee told the commissioners that part of the scoring of the bids was based on information required for the bid. Top-ranked builders failed to provide a bid bond in their bid packages required by the state. The four final contractors had an opportunity to discuss their bids and answer questions from the commissioners. The commissioners heard from 3 of the 4 contractors and reviewed the bid application in depth with Renee Morales of Top-Ranked Builders to be sure that the package was complete according to NRS laws. The bid from top-ranked builders could not be considered because it only contained a letter from the bonding company, not the bond itself. The discussion, public comment, and deliberation continued for more than an hour. When Commissioner Koenig called for the vote for the bid, the contract went to B&H Construction for the amount of $3,974,421.
Thanks so much, Missy. Well, on September 5th of 2019, Nye County Sheriff's Office deputies began an investigation after being dispatched to an address in the area of Jane and Navajo. The report by Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue Services was in reference to a strong odor of acetone in the area.
A traffic stop of a vehicle leaving the scene in the fall of last year identified one of the 3 occupants of the vehicle as Clifton Smith. One person was taken into custody at that time for an outstanding warrant. Clifton Smith and one other person were released by deputies. NCSO narcotics detectives were advised of the situation and deduced that there was an alleged methamphetamine cook at the property located between Navajo Boulevard and Kellogg Road. Deputies conducted interviews with the person who was arrested during the traffic stop at the detention center and learned that, among other people, Smith had been involved in the manufacturing of the drug. A search warrant was obtained for the address. The witness told police, according to their report, that Smith had arranged several trailers in a circle on the property to conceal the cook. A records check of others involved in the traffic stop that had been conducted showed multiple priors for the manufacturing and distribution of PCP. This included Smith. When police asked Smith who was cooking meth on the property, Smith allegedly said that it was not methamphetamine. He said he was an expert at cooking methamphetamine and stated that deputies would have blown up if they had walked into a meth lab with their cell phones. Smith also allegedly said that he did not know who had set up the suspected lab while he was gone. On November 20th, 2019, test results were received that confirmed the production of PCP on the property. Smith and one other person were arrested for the drug lab at that time. PVFRS said that 2 individuals had fled the scene as they arrived to investigate the odor. On October 1st, 2020, detectives responded to a report of a man with a gun. Smith, while not involved in the firearm altercation, was on the scene and placed under arrest as part of the 2019 investigation for manufacturing or attempted to manufacture a controlled substance, possessing chemicals for a controlled substance, attempted traffic Schedule 1 and 2 of a controlled substance, conspiracy to violate the Uniform Controlled Substances Act, use and possession of drug paraphernalia, possession of Schedule 1 and 2 controlled substance, and unlawful acts to knowingly keep or maintain a place where controlled substances are unlawfully used, kept, or sold. On October 2nd, Nye County Sheriff's Office also arrested James McKines as part of this investigation. McKines was arrested for manufacturing of a controlled substance, conspiracy to violate the Uniform Controlled Substances Act, and unlawful acts to knowingly keep or maintain a place where controlled substances are unlawfully used, kept, or sold.
News 25 will be right back.
You're watching News 25, the most recognized and farthest-reaching local news in Nye County. News 25, local news you can count on. This segment of the news is brought to you by P&P Property Management. Knowledge, experience, communication, and trust. Call Cynthia at 775-727-4444.
Welcome back to News 25. Well, the stock market soars with news of stimulus talks. Eli Lilly asks for a speedy action for COVID antibody treatment. And goodbye Ruby Tuesdays. That and more financial news now.
Happier news, President Trump's tweets are moving the market. Yesterday, airline stocks soared along with the broader market as President Trump tweeted Wednesday that he now wants to make checks available and the airlines should get a bailout. On Tuesday, President Trump tweeted he wanted to end stimulus talks with Democrats until after the election. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi suggests the president is rebounding from a terrible mistake. Drug maker Eli Lilly is requesting fast action from the FDA on its COVID antibody treatment. It's similar to the Regeneron treatment that was given to the president for COVID-19. Lilly wants to have 100,000 doses available this month. And Ruby Tuesdays is closing more than 185 locations and also filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. The chain has struggled during the pandemic, but will continue to operate more than 236 locations.
To find out where you can see us every day, go to businessfirstam.com.
Thanks so much, Angela. Well, we've been following educators, parents, and students as they have returned back to school into a completely different style of learning. Madison Riggs is a first-year college student at Dixie State University, majoring in elementary education, and she is taking her courses completely online.
So you decided that you were going to be all online. There was an option to be at Dixie State, and so how are they handling that right now?
Well, when I was talking to my advisor the other day, he was saying that like they expected like to not have like a full like dorms and full classes and stuff, and so that's going really well because Utah's in like the yellow stage, so they're like low risk right now, so they're doing good up there. But
and so have you had an opportunity to go to the school to be even a little bit a part of the school, or has it just been all online since the beginning that when you started?
I have like gone to the school to like tour it and like that stuff, but I haven't gone since like that because of just everything going on with COVID, and even their tours now, like if you sign up for a tour, it's all virtual.
And so how is Are you looking forward to going back, or are you going to continue this way? Are you going to?
No, I'm excited to go up there and live in the dorms and like get that full college experience. But for right now, I'm good with this and my computer and hanging out with my family and working and everything.
How's it going with the classes right now? Is it easy? Is it hard? Are you learning a lot?
Right now, they're decently easy. I mean, the one that I have up right now is asking me about the cardiovascular system, and I have no idea what's going on with that. But like decently, they get easier. Like they get a little bit harder, but they were pretty easy in the beginning, and I'm a few weeks ahead because it just is easier, and online makes it easy to do that. So. COVID, like in the beginning, it was scary. I mean, we didn't know what was going on, like what it was doing. Like we just knew at that time it could be fatal, and that was very like scary, and our entire family was filled with anxiety. And I remember when they put us on lockdown, and at the time I'd worked for my grandma, and in the beginning we thought that was like we were gonna have to stop. And I remember like finding out that and crying, because I was like, my entire life is like flipping backwards right now, and I don't know what's going on. And
did you finish high school last year?
Yes.
Okay, so what was that like?
Well, I remember like telling my mom like, and it was not even close, and I was like, Mom, I'm not gonna have a graduation. And she was like, yes, you are, like, don't worry, like, we're not there yet, it's okay. And then it got closer, and then I think it said in for all of us, and it was like I'm really not gonna get a graduation. I mean, I have awesome people in my life, so they made it happen for me in my backyard.
Yeah.
And I walked the stage, and I had a grad speech and everything, and it was fun. And honestly, I would have that over. I would do that again. Then.
Do that one instead?
Yeah.
That one was
that
pretty
was
good.
Awesome. I had my family and like my really close friends, and I got to dress up in my cap and gown and walk down my little backyard and say my grad speech and listen to everybody else's and have my own little song that I got to finish too. And I got to throw my cap and all that fun stuff.
More local news when we return.
You're watching News 25, brought to you by Mountain West Lawyer, Injury Attorneys, 727-9500. News 25, local news you can count on.
Welcome back. Well, in downtown Las Vegas, you will find an architecturally interesting building known as the Cleveland Clinic Lou Ruvo Center for Brain Health. The center was just awarded a $3.3 million grant. News 25 had the opportunity to speak with the director of the Cleveland Clinic Center for Brain Health about that award.
The NIH awards these grants called Alzheimer's Research Center grants, which are intended to be around the country. This is the first one in the Intermountain West. And each of these centers is considered to be a center of excellence. They're very competitive, very difficult to get.
Dr. Sabah explained why the grant for research is in rural areas specifically.
Yes, so it turns out, of course, that we know a lot about Alzheimer's, dementia, and other cognitive disorders in urban dwelling populations. But we also know that in rural communities, such as in Nye County, they have less access and less to healthcare in general, and potentially less access to quality healthcare potentially. And so they may be misdiagnosed. They may not be diagnosed at all as they get elderly. You know, elderly have a whole host of health problems. And so, you know, you see things happen that might be ignored or passed on. And so this will give us an opportunity to address the needs of the community.
How widespread is Alzheimer's in the aging population?
You know, you're talking about such a huge problem. When you think about it, by age 85, 1 in 3 people have it. If you look at every baby boomer, 1 in 8 will develop Alzheimer's dementia. So this is not a small issue, it's a gigantic issue. It is now the 6th leading cause of death. And it is the #1 reason people are placed in long-term care. So this is the thing that people, as they get on in the years, is scared about most. They're more afraid of developing Alzheimer's than anything else.
What is Alzheimer's?
So Alzheimer's is a degenerative brain disease that's caused by a combination of hereditary genetic factors and health conditions, age, and family history, and environmental factors.
Dr. Sabah went on to explain that the grant won't fund a bricks and mortar building for the study, but will send the physicians to the rural areas to see study participants. Part of the grant proposal stated that it is harder for those living in rural areas to make the drive to their needed medical care. Cleveland Clinic will likely take on medical office space in Nye County to see participants in the study, and they will also involve the local doctors of their patients participating.
Our proposal is, instead of you coming to us, we're going to come to Pahrump and other places to do the assessments in the community.
And if you're interested and would like to see more, you can find that entire interview regarding the Lou Ruvo Center for Brain Health online.
Well, flu season is upon us, and doctors are reminding parents to get their kids vaccinated, which isn't always easy when you have a little one who's scared of shots. So how do you keep them calm?
I like to administer vaccines in the comfort position. So if you're giving a really big hug, most of the time they'll see my reaction opposed to the parent's reaction.
Carmen Howard is a nurse at Cleveland Clinic Children's. She says it's important parents remain calm when their child gets a shot. Mom and dad should not show a look of worry or fear on their faces because a child could react negatively to that. As for tips on keeping them distracted, you can let them play a game on your tablet or cell phone. Offering them a reward can help too. And if they do get upset during the shot, that's totally normal. You should not tell them not to cry.
It's okay to be scared. Just not make it a situation where it's unsafe for both of us, myself, the child, and the parent. So I just tell them, it's okay to cry. Like parents will tell them, don't cry, be brave. Of course, be brave, but crying sometimes involves being brave.
Another tip, she says, don't wait until they're walking into the doctor's office to let your child know they're getting a shot. It's good to give them a little time to prepare.
News 25 Weather Cam is brought to you by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorney's Office in Pahrump. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500.
Hi, it's John Kohler from KPVM Channel 25 News. We're on site here at the Nye County Commissioner's offices today. They had free flu shots. Yes, it's flu season again. You got to think about getting your flu shots. The number of places you can get them free still. If you missed this opportunity today, well, why don't you head on down to the Moose Lodge in Pahrump on Saturday. They'll be doing a free flu shot clinic starting at 9 a.m. And if you're up in the Amargosa-Beatty area, why don't you look for free flu shots at the Beatty Community Center. That'll be Thursday, October 15th from 9 to 2 p.m. So check that out. And we'll check out the weather and tell you all about what you can expect when we return.
News 25 weather is brought to you by Dairy Council of Nevada. The splash of cream in your coffee, the dollop of sour cream on your burrito, the melted toasty cheese on your pizza. Undeniably delicious, undeniably dairy. Enjoy what's real.
Hi, good evening, Nevada. This is John Kohler from the KPVM Channel 25 Weather Studios, and we've got the report for you tonight. Feeling fiery in Fernley. It's 78 degrees. Woo, 78. That's as hot as it got today in Fernley, you guys. Feeling good. 43 for a low tonight out in Fallon. Got all the way up to 80 with a 40-degree low projected for tonight. Carson City, where the girls are so pretty, 78 degrees for a high today. 39 for a low tonight. And in Tonopah, 76 and 40 for your low. Goldfield, well, all the way up to 78. 40 for a low tonight. In Beatty, all right, now you're putting your tri-pants on, Beatty. 86 degrees for a high. Yes, it got all the way that hot. 51 for a low. Out in Amargosa, 91 degrees. 54 for a low. Las Vegas did not see triple digits. 95 degrees for a high today. 64 for a low. And Death Valley just barely saw triple digits. Had a 101-degree high today. 66 for a low. It's feeling like winter. What's it feel like in Pahrump? Well, currently our temperature is about 88 degrees. It's just off our high today of 90, winds out of the south-southwest, 11 miles per hour, bringing in basically fresh air. Didn't seem too bad out there in the valley, looking good. 9% humidity. The sunrise this morning at 6:45 a.m., and that's a little bit later than yesterday. It'll set tonight a little bit earlier, 6:16 at night. Yes, more nighttime. Hooray! 56 degrees will be our low tonight. Winds out of the east at 7 miles per hour, and it's picking up with the humidity, 20%. We might even see some clouds this weekend. Why don't we look at that? Why don't we look at see what's it? Yes, hey, look at that. Clouds on Saturday. That'll be kind of fun. Enjoy that cloudy weather. Look at these weather highs, just staying in the mid to high 80s. Not too terrible. And lows mid 50s. I don't know, a little bit of wind, a little bit of cloud on Saturday. That's a little bit different. we'll look forward to that. Maybe check out a windy, cloudy day for the flu clinic at the Moose Lodge on Saturday. Won't that be fun? I think so. Well, there's your report from the KPVM Channel 25 Weather Studios. Back to you, ladies.
Thanks, John.
Thanks, John. And Fire Chief Scott Lewis with Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue has confirmed that this was a brush fire on State Route 160 Tuesday evening near the Sandy Valley turnoff. There were several scattered flames in that area, and firefighters were able to quickly knock it down. The cause of that fire is still under investigation.
All right. Thanks, Jeanette, for those photos. Well, that's going to wrap up this edition of News 25. I'm Deanna.
And I'm Unette.
Good night.
Good night.